Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby with Fitness is Medicine, and welcome to your spooky edition of your workout. We're going to involve zombies and witches and grave diggers, so get ready to move. If you haven't warmed up, go ahead and press pause, go get a good warm up in, and then come back ready to work. Okay, first, we're going to run away from zombies, so I want you to run and move your feet as fast as you can. We're going to go for 30 seconds. If you can't run very fast, that's okay. Move those feet as quickly as possible, pumping your arms. We're just running in place. Take a break if you need to, but don't let those zombies catch you. Running, running, running. Okay, next there's some witches flying by, so we better duck. So we're going to do a squat. Duck out of the way of the witches flying overhead. Duck as low as you can. Remember, if you need to, hang on to something so you can squat a little bit lower. You can use a chair in front of you, a kitchen sink, a countertop, anything you need to squat as low as you can and stay in good form. Remember, I'm still keeping my hips back, the weight is in my heels, and I'm squatting down as low as I can. Even if you're here, that's okay. Tiny little pulses. The point is you're moving your hips backwards, bending your knees, squeezing your glutes and your quads as you stand up. 3 more. Get out of the way of those flying witches. Okay, shh, hold very still. We're going to lower down into a plank. Make sure on the camera, hold very, very still. Don't make a sound. We're staying as low as we can to the ground. Staying out of the monster's sight. Remember, you want your hands right beneath your shoulders. Straight line from your heels to your head. If this is too much, use an elevated surface and do a plank like this. You can also do it on your elbows on an elevated surface like this. Just stay very quiet. Stay out of the way of the monsters. Okay, next, we are going to do a grave digger. So lean on the side of a bench. So if you have a coffee table or a large hassock or footstool like this, lean over the side. We're going to row and then kick back. So we're going to row up, kick back. So this is a row with a triceps kick back. So we're digging a grave. We're going to dig, throw it out. Row, triceps kick back. Normally I would stand and do this, or I can do it kind of on this side. That might work better. Row, tricep kick back. It's a little lower than I would have in my gym, but I'm using what I have at home. I'm using what Dave and Sandy have in their home. Thank you, Nana and Poppy. Row, kick back. Digging that grave. Sneaking into the cemetery after midnight. So keep your shoulder down away from your ear. Row up. Triceps kick back. You want that parallel arm when you kick that back. So you might need a little bit lighter weight than you would use just for the row. And remember to keep breathing. Okay, and then we're going to switch sides. So basically, you're looking for a nice flat back here. Hanging right up the side. You don't want your shoulder hanging down like this. A good supported row, kick back. Dig that grave. Kick back. And remember, you want to keep this 2 separate movements. You don't want to be kind of doing it all at once, and you do not want to start it swinging. That could be bad on your shoulder. So make sure you control it both directions. It's 2 separate movements. 3 more. Row, kick back. You're driving your elbows towards the ceiling. Row, kick back. Row, kick back. Okay, great. Next, we're going to run from the zombies again. Run, 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 run. We're going to keep your heart rate moving this whole time. You got to be prepared on Halloween. Run, 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 run. You're really pumping your arms. Even if you can only run like this, that's okay. We're doing tiny little marches right in place. If you can, just pick it up just a little bit. Moving those feet as quickly as you can. working on explosive movements. Okay, next, we're going to step over the gravestones. So I got myself a stool here. In my gym, I would use a ladder or a hurdle, but this is what I have here. So I want you to use high knees. If you don't have anything to step over, just pretend. Take big wide steps with your high knees. You can put a pillow on the floor, a water bottle that's standing up, and then make sure you get all the way over each time. Bringing those knees nice and high, stepping as wide as you can each time. So having something there to step over will make you have to step both feet. Many times I'll do this, and people may start with their first one nice and high, but then they drag their second one. So you've got to have both knees nice and high, back and forth. Step over those gravestones. Okay, next we're going to creepy crawl out of sight. So we're going to get down on your hands and feet and creepy crawl out of sight. Stay low, stay quiet, stay out of sight of the monsters. What I would do is, if you have a long hallway, or even just crawl all the way across your room, if it's really too much to crawl on your hands and your feet, you can crawl on your knees too. That's still probably a pretty challenging thing to do if you're crawling on your knees. See if you can crawl a couple steps up on your feet and hands, even if you can just do a couple and then go to your knees, or do 3 or 4 and then rest. These are really challenging, but they're really important to stay out of the way of the monsters. Okay, next we're going to do bob and weave. We're going to do werewolf punches. So I want you to spread your feet apart nice and wide. We're going to bob and weave. So like boxers, bob and weave. We're going to go back and forth like this, but I want you to start with a punch. So just kind of keeping your feet nice and wide, little squats in between, transferring your weight from side to side, and go ahead and give it a good punch. If this has any shoulder pain, punch lower, and don't punch quite so hard. You can just do reaches instead. You don't have to punch. But if you can, get some good punches in there. Bob and weave. Shifting your weight from side to side, a little squat in between. I haven't counted how many I'm doing. I'm doing them for about 30 seconds. All right, one more on each side. And we're going to end with vampire V sits. So I want you to sit on the ground. Make sure I'm on camera here this way. And I want you to turn your body into as much of a V as you can. So if that means that you're sitting here and you just pick your feet up off the ground, I've got a V right here, okay? If you can, do a full V. If you need to, you can put your hands back and then lift your feet up. See if you can hold that. Turn this part of your body into a V. You don't have to turn your entire, this would be an entire V. You don't have to do that. You can lean back, pick up your legs, or if you can just even at least do this. Hold. Keep breathing. When we're really taxing those abs, you have to keep breathing. Keep breathing. Just stay in your vampire V-sit. You can come in and out of it if you need to rest, and then come back. Keep breathing. Okay, we're going to do one more balancing act. We're going to stand on one foot with one foot kicked out in front like this. Single leg stance, standing very still so the monster doesn't hear us. So you're engaging your quad by holding this out in front of you, and also challenging by standing on one foot. So you're challenging your balance. Standing up nice and tall, holding that single leg stance, holding that quad in that contraction right out in front of you. Nice and still so the zombie doesn't hear you, the monsters don't hear you. All right, go ahead and repeat that a couple times through. Don't forget the zombie runs. Got to keep that heart rate up. We're working on your agility and your explosiveness and your ability to avoid the monsters. Thanks, everybody. Have a happy Halloween. I'll see you next week.